When it comes to home or vehicle defense, few tools bring the same mix of intimidation and raw stopping power as a 12 gauge. Handguns may be easier to carry, and rifles get the spotlight for range work. But when you're inside a hallway, crouched in a truck cab, or clearing tight corners, a well-set shotgun changes the whole fight. That pump rack sound alone can turn hesitation into retreat. What makes 2025 interesting is how much the shotgun has evolved. Shorter barrels, bullpup frames, modular cylinders, mag-fed reloads, even lever-action throwbacks that run like modern carbines. This lineup isn't about bird guns or hunting nostalgia, it's about compact, purpose-built rigs engineered for maneuverability, reliability, and sheer presence when you need them most. Stick around, because we're breaking down the shotguns that matter right now. If you're tracking with me so far, smash that like button and subscribe to Firearm Standard. You won't want to miss what's next. Kel-Tech KSG. Kel-Tech's KSG packs a lot of short-range punch into a compact frame, and that design choice is what divides opinions. The dual tubular magazines stacked beneath the receiver let the user carry a large number of 12-gauge rounds without a long barrel, so presentation in tight spaces is faster than with a conventional shotgun. The bullpup layout moves mass rearward. That changes balance and felt recoil, often making follow-ups feel more controllable with a slightly more upright stance. The tube select mechanism is a tactical tool. One tube can hold buckshot, the other slugs, allowing immediate roll changes without swapping barrels. Reliability has improved since early production, but the platform still benefits from disciplined maintenance. A validated test plan includes cycling 200 rounds through each tube in mixed loads, timed tube switch drills, and running defensive patterning at 7, 15, and 25 yards to confirm spread and POI shifts. The polymer receiver and short action make zero retention worth checking after 50 and 200 rounds, especially when a red dot is fitted. Practical ownership notes focus on wear items and inspection intervals. The dual-tube followers and switch spring take regular duty. Owners should carry spare caps and springs and clean the action at roughly 500 rounds. For vehicle stowage, an unload clean routine every 30 to 60 days prevents grit buildup. In short, the KSG is a strong option for users who want compact, high-capacity shotgun performance and who will commit to testing and upkeep. It is less suited to owners seeking a low-maintenance, out-of-the-box patrol gun. Mossberg 590R and 590RM. The Mossberg 590 line stays true to a simple promise: reliable pump operation under real-world stress. Both the 590R and 590RM retain the familiar 18.5-inch barrel and 3-inch chamber, so users can run standard defensive buckshot or slugs without hand-wringing. Controls are intuitive and user-focused, ambidextrous tang safety and reachable slide release, so manipulation works from either shoulder and under pressure. The 590R modernizes the tube-fed formula with adjustable stocks, M-lock forends, and Magpul-style sights. That makes the classic pump easier to mount, aim, and accessorize while keeping the time-tested feeding geometry of a tubular magazine. Speed reloads remain single-shell affairs, so training should include fast top-up techniques or speed loader drills to avoid reload delay in a high-stress encounter. For users who prize low-maintenance reliability and easy field service, the 590R is a straightforward choice. The 590RM rethinks logistics by accepting detachable box magazines. Reloads become faster and more consistent, drop, insert, charge, mirroring rifle workflows and simplifying supply if the team already runs similar mags. Mag-fed designs introduce new failure points tied to magazine lips and feed angles, so the prudent operator validates several magazine brands and accumulates round count data to identify weak links. Loaded mags add weight, so stowage and carry methods should be evaluated before committing to a vehicle or bedside rig. Across both variants, testing and maintenance are non-negotiable. Pattern defensive loads at 7, 15, and 25 yards, run barrier tests through drywall indoors, and execute rapid follow-up strings to measure recoil recovery. Inspect action bars, barrel alignment, and magazine locking surfaces for wear. For the 590RM, watch magazine lips and feed ramps closely. In short, choose the 590R for conservative, proven serviceability. Choose the 590RM, where rapid reloads and magazine commonality matter. Both deliver the blunt effect stopping power shotguns are known for when matched to a clear training plan. Langden Tactical 1301 Blackout. Langdon Tactical's 1301 Blackout turns a proven semi-auto base into a turnkey defensive tool. Starting from the Beretta 1301 Mod 2 platform, the Langdon package ships as a finished system, Refined stock geometry, a tuned trigger, factory-mounted optic and weapon light, and mission-minded furniture. The intent is clear: minimize aftermarket fitment and deliver consistent performance out of the box. Ergonomics and handling are focal points. Stock geometry and length of pull choices reduce muzzle rise and shorten sight recovery, which helps follow-up timing in dynamic drills. The trigger work is intentionally crisp and predictable. On a 12-gauge semi-auto, a defined break and short reset shave. Critical split seconds. Factory optic and light placement remove guesswork and eliminate stacking tolerances that can undermine zero and repeatability in user-built setups. On reliability, the Langdon retains the 1301's gas-driven cycling but adds practical mitigations, a heat shield hose, and routed interfaces that limit fouling at the optic and light junctions. Field notes indicate the rifle runs a wide range of defensive loads without short stroking, though operators should validate their selected defensive shell in the specific build. It costs more and weighs more than a bare-bones pump, but it arrives configured to perform, ready for class, patrol, or serious home defense roles with minimal setup. SRM-1216. The SRM-1216 gives you an unusual answer to the ammo problem. A rotary quad-tube magazine that stacks a lot of 12-gauge rounds into a compact package. What that means for you in the field is fewer reloads and the ability to swap full magazines instead of topping tubes one shell at a time. If your mission demands sustained fire or extended presence, patrol overwatch, static posts, or team entry, you'll appreciate the endurance this design buys you. Operationally, the rotating feed is the point of differentiation. You'll want to verify magazine indexing and the rotary coupling every time you clean the gun. Loose magazines or poor seating are the most common sources of trouble. Stick to vetted magazines and factory-spec shells for defensive roles. Non-standard rounds can upset feed geometry and introduce malfunctions. In practice, the SRM shines when cadence and capacity matter more than mechanical simplicity. It's not the most forgiving option for a casual homeowner who wants a low-maintenance pump, but for trained teams or defenders expecting multiple engagements, its ability to sustain fire and swap ready mags quickly becomes a tactical advantage. If you adopt one, prioritize a strict maintenance routine and practice rapid mag swaps until the motion is instinctive. Panzer Arms BP12. You'll notice the BP12 the moment you shoulder it, a full-length barrel tucked into a much shorter overall package thanks to the bullpup layout. That means you get ballistic performance close to a standard shotgun while you move through tight corridors or work around vehicle seats. The box mag system is the headline feature. Fast rifle-style reloads that simplify logistics if you already run compatible mags elsewhere in your kit. In practice, you should treat the BP12 like any budget platform. Inspect the magwell fit, feed lip geometry, and bolt timing before you trust it on duty. Mag-fed shotguns shift failure modes, bad magazines, or slightly out-of-spec shells show up as feed problems, so validate the exact magazines you plan to carry. Expect to spend a little bench time tuning mag retention and seating, but don't expect the polish of a boutique build. Ergonomics are generally friendly, but bullpups demand acclimation. If you're left-handed, confirm ejection orientation and how ambidextrous the controls really are. Practice transitions until they're reflexive. For a truck or cabin kit where compactness and rapid reloads matter more than cosmetic finish, the BP12 gives you a pragmatic, affordable path to a compact fighting shotgun, as long as you commit to mag testing and regular function checks. Blackout's Tactical Pro Series L. If you like mechanical simplicity with a twist, the Pro Series L pays dividends. You get a lever action rhythm instead of pump cadence, a 6+1 capacity that keeps more shots on tap than a traditional snub, and modern threading to run choke options. The aluminum receiver trims weight for carry and transport, and the bird's head grip shortens the profile for quick presentation from low-ready or a vehicle lap. You should train lever cycling until it's smooth. Loop size and geometry determine whether your follow-ups will be fast or fumbled. A strong practice stroke makes the lever surprisingly rapid, and the action's mechanical simplicity translates to fewer gas ports and less fouling to manage. That reliability is the point, a rugged tool that won't need exotic parts or specialist maintenance. Reloads are slower than mag swaps, so plan your reload doctrine around the gun's rhythm. For home defenders who don't want a tactical look but still need choke options and solid terminal performance, the Pro Series L is a smart compromise. For rural users who appreciate classic mechanics but demand modern function, it's a practical, characterful choice that rewards honest training and routine inspection. Escort Bulltac Bullpup. You'll appreciate the Bulltac the moment you shoulder it, a pump action that keeps an 18-inch barrel but trims overall length to under 28 inches by moving the action rearward. That geometry makes room clears and vehicle work easier because you get full-power 12-gauge performance with a much smaller handling envelope. The 5+1 tubular capacity gives you a standard defensive loadout without resorting to odd magazine solutions. When you run the Bulltac, train a short, forward pump stroke and keep a consistent shoulder set so your sight picture doesn't drift between shots. The carry handle doubles as a low optics rail, keeping your red dot index low and centered for faster acquisition from the low ready. Factory sights and a fixed cylinder choke simplify pattern expectations out of the short handling package. For reliability, treat the alloy upper and polymer lower as practical. The chrome-lined barrel fights corrosion, but you still need to validate ejection and cycling with both 2 3/4 inch and 3-inch loads on your specific gun. Field strip without tools for cleaning, inspect the tubular magazine spring and follower every few hundred rounds. If you plan vehicle stowage, wipe the action down regularly to keep road grit from building up. The Bulltac is a solid choice when you want a pump that maneuvers like a PDW but still delivers standard 12-gauge terminal effect, provided you practice the pump stroke and pattern your chosen defensive loads. Genesis Arms Gen12 PDS. You get rifle-style ergonomics with the Gen12 PDS, AR controls, an MLOK free-float chassis, and a fixed PDW stock that cut your training curve if you already run rifles. The Gen12's short reciprocating barrel system is the real differentiator. That design reduces perceived impulse, shortens gas dwell, and helps control muzzle rise on follow-ups, important when you're running heavy defensive buckshot from a compact platform. Expect the Gen12 to come bundled with a reflex optic for immediate use. The AR sight picture speeds target acquisition in low light and dynamic movement. Patterning is pragmatic. Buckshot stays dense inside about 25 yards, and recoil is more manageable than many traditional semi-autos. Logistics mimic AR gear for slings and pouches, but remember magazines and ammo remain shotgun-specific. Maintenance should focus on the reciprocating barrel interface and bolt mating surfaces. The short reciprocating design reduces some gas fouling, but new wear points appear at the reciprocating junctions. Inspect and lightly lubricate those areas after endurance firing. Run a 300-round stress block with your defensive loads to confirm long-term consistency. If you want carbine ergonomics and controls with true 12-gauge terminal effect, the Gen12 rewards you, but only if you validate reliability and practice with the platform's unique handling characteristics. 612 Modular Shotgun. You'll see the 612 as a different approach, a removable multi-round cylinder that indexes chambers like a revolver. That means you can preload multiple cylinders with specific loads, breaching, buckshot, slugs, and swap them quickly in the fight. For you, the operational benefit is instant ammo selection and very fast reloads without a gas system to clog. Mechanically, the system is simple but precise. Cylinder indexing and locking must be rock solid. Even minor slop can produce timing errors or misfires. Before you trust one on duty, perform dry-fire indexing checks and verify locking lug engagement across multiple cylinders. The concept reduces moving gas parts and makes maintenance straightforward, but it shifts the critical wear points to the indexing detents and locking surfaces. Pattern each cylinder and load combination at representative engagement distances, confirm POI and pellet density for every configuration you intend to use. The 612 best serves breaching teams, entry crews, or defenders who value role flexibility and minimal downtime. If you adopt it, prioritize routine inspection of indexing components and train fast cylinder swaps under stress until the motion is second nature. The platform gives you mission modularity, but only if the locking geometry and maintenance discipline are up to the task. Standards SP12 Compact. You get extreme compactness with the SP12 Compact, a 14.5-inch barrel and a bird's head grip that deliver an overall length similar to an SBR while staying NFA-free. The bottom feed, bottom eject layout is friendly for left-handed use and keeps ejection away from passengers or close quarters. That short barrel and 12-gauge punch make it ideal for vehicle rigs and tight hallways, but they come with trade-offs you must respect. Handling demands new muscle memory. The bird's head grip changes your shoulder index and draw mechanics, so train until your presentation is consistent. Patterning is critical. The 14.5-inch tube alters spread and penetration behavior, so test your defensive loads at 5 to 15 yards to determine effective spread and barrier performance. Also, assess muzzle blast and concussion inside rooms. The short barrel increases report and overpressure that can disorient you and bystanders. Maintenance follows pump norms. Simple field strip, regular bore cleaning, and inspection of the follower and spring. Legality matters here. Confirm local rules on minimum barrel length before you buy. If you want an extreme compact shotgun that hits hard and stores small, the SP12 gives you raw capability, but only if you commit to disciplined load testing, awareness of overpressure effects, and practiced handling in the platform's unique posture. If this wrap clarified trade-offs and the step-by-step readiness checklist, use it. Apply the tests, run the patterning, and log your results so you know what works for you. Share your data in the comments. Real-world patterning, mags that fed clean, and any failures help everyone make better choices. If you like the breakdown, hit like, share it with your range crew, and subscribe to Firearm Standard. Enable notifications so you catch the next deep dive as soon as it drops. Keep training, prioritize simple maintenance schedules, and treat gear selection like mission planning. Pick what you can maintain, test it thoroughly, and practice until the drills are instinct.